welcome back to WHHI-TV, and I am excited to be with LJ.Bush.
All right.
We see you on the sidelines of the football games.
Yep.
Very nice to have you here.
Yeah, nice to be here. Yeah.
You know, you're very much involved with the community, mentoring kids, and you just have this, entrepreneurial spirit
Right.
that you are working with different businesses. But today, we're going to talk about something very dear to your heart.
Right.
It's called the COIN program.
Right.
So what's the acronym stand for?
The COIN program's acronym stands for Changing Our Image Now. Changing Our Image Now.
Okay.
Yeah. And it started out with my mother and I, just seeing young men in the community just go in a different direction and wanted to have that image kind of changed and just become better people and better community-oriented individuals.
So we're talking about a little bit of a mentoring program,
Yes.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think we all, kids are just doing their best they can, right? And sometimes they need a little mentoring that's outside the house.
Right.
And this is an opportunity for them to come to you. What do you talk about?
More of what we talk about is life skills. I feel like life skills are sometimes missing today in terms of, behavior maybe, or just how to approach different situations. I feel like I was raised in such a way that I have something to offer and give back. So we talk about that, but then we also talk about career opportunities, career paths, educational opportunities, trying to help each individual kid that we come in contact with find a landing spot for when they're graduate high school and figure out what that purpose is as well.
Well, tell us a little bit about the students today. What's on their mind? I mean, they've just come, they've just finished COVID, right? So everybody's sort of finding their way.
Right.
But, these kids are in school, redoing it, getting back together.
Right.
And what's the topic of their concerns?
I think the topic of their concern is what's next, and then finding that and figuring out what they do to find that information or find out their purpose or their passion. I think what we try to do is actually not tell them what they need to do, but be more of a listening kind of sounding board, if you will, to figure out what do you like and what do you do best, and then how can we help you get to that point? What are some of the things that we could do to help you get more into that passion? And that sometimes comes into bringing in speakers, like we've had the fire department, Hilton Fire Department, who's one of our partners, come in and speak to the kids about their career opportunities. We've had Hilton Hospital come in, talk about the medical field. We all know that's a opportunity that's there, that we don't have enough of those healthcare workers. We've also had Lockheed Martin from aerospace engineering to come in and speak to us about that. So we try and bring speakers in to pique more of the interest and help the kids make a good decision.
No, that's amazing. I love the thought, just the diversity of all those kinds of topics. But do kids feel confident, or do they feel sort of not confident about their next phase? I mean, what's the sort of their situation? You know what I'm saying? A lot of kids are, I can do this, and some kids are like, well, I don't know what to do. How do they feel about that?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, because our last meeting, we talked about failures. Yeah. And we talked about if you want to be successful, going through a few failures first, but not taking them as, oh, I can't do anything right, but to take them and say that I can build off of that. I can build from that to get to that place of success. So that's the part that they're struggling with right now, is just really being afraid to move and to change. And I think that has to do with where we are in our country right now as well. With everything that we're going through, everybody's kind of a little bit nervous about the next step. So it's kind of tough for them.
We are, but one thing that came to mind, you being a football player, isn't that when you like step back and punt?
Yeah. You step back and punt, yeah.
That play didn't work. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
We'll hit the ball over some way or another, right?
Yeah. Well, using that same thing with football is that you start out in a football game with a plan. And in your first quarter, you kind of, you're running a few plays and seeing what works. And then in that second quarter, what didn't work, you don't use that. You use what works in the second quarter, from the first quarter. So it's being okay with change. I think that's what kids have to understand, and we're trying to get them to understand. Being okay with change, being okay with, I started down this path, that really didn't work for me, but it's okay. I can move and turn left and keep moving forward. So
I think one of the hardest things that kids have to realize, and when you're 18 or 16, you feel like you know it all.
Oh yeah, we all have those, right?
But when you hit a few decades afterwards,
right.
we didn't know much.
I know.
And then the other part is that we're going to live a long time.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
So
that's
everybody, what I love about this, what we met with Tom earlier about here, the aerospace and creating these machine shop things you've got. I think it's a great lead into the things that you're doing. That if there's a student who doesn't want to go to college right now, doesn't know what to do, but there are trades, there are things that they could be trained and make a great living at. Yes.
No, that's the thing. I think where kids get stuck is thinking that there's only one way to be successful. I think giving young individuals a number of different paths or ways to get to the point to where they want to get to is very important, that they learn that very early. I think sometimes in the past when I was growing up, a lot of people said, well, wait till you get out of high school. I think now we have to even pull back even further into the middle schools and start talking to kids about, what do you want to do? What does that thing look like? And you're right, the trades are wonderful. We don't have enough tradesmen. So we actually have a few kids that are talking about being welders or working in the electrician area. So when we bring those individuals in and talk about what does that look like in terms of education wise, what do you have to do? And then what does that look like pay scale wise and all that? So we kind of holistically work all the way around with the kids and trying to work with their families, community organizations. So we try and put our hands around everybody.
LJ, you are so delightful to speak to, and I really wish you lots of success with the Coin Project. If you have any questions, do reach out to LJ.
Yep, thank you.
All right. Well, I want to thank you very much for joining us. This is 843 TV, where communities come to speak. We'll see you next time.
All right.